All right, excellent afternoon to all those who are watching me across the states in Nigeria. They said building and developing Nigeria is a task for all and not a task for one. Leaders have a major chunk of obligation, but the citizens have equal right to that as well. And it starts with doing what is right at all times. Again, I welcome you to another interesting episode of Real Talk with Kike. I remain your convener, your executive producer, your scriptwriter. I wear many caps on this platform. My name remains Kike Atanda-Owo. I think it's important for us to hear what On This Day in History segment has for us. And I return, I give my 2 cents on it. Stay with me. I'll be right back. All right, many thanks for staying with me. So my takeaway from On This Day initial segment today, truly, it was one of the controversial policies that received debate across board. You know, some say IMF, who backed the SAP program, you know, SAP, does more ill or more evil and harm in African countries than the good till date. So no African country on the record has categorically, you know, staged its development through, you know, the loans and the policies of the IMF. So the question is, your guesses are as good as mine. I just hope that there will be changes moving forward and it will not become a culture in the policy making implementation. I think that's my takeaway from On This Day initial segment today. Let's take a quick break to get a word from my sponsors, those who have put me on this platform. And when I return, we'll dive straight to the topic at hand. Stay with me. I'll be right back. Again, welcome to another powerful edition of Real Talk with Kike, where I spotlight the change makers, the visionaries, and of course the bold thinkers shaping the future of Nigeria and Africa today. And I believe that today's conversation is one that sits at the intersection of education, youth empowerment, and of course strategic thinking. And it all begins with a game. We often overlook the chess. Join me, you know, today to welcome 2 phenomenal women, Mrs. Kalin Shaguri Mudaba, the director of Eko Hotel Limited, and of course, Mrs. Damilola Okonkwo, the visionary behind Key Academy. Together, they are launching Chess Masters, Africa's largest school, chess tournament right here in Lagos, with over 500 children from 100 plus schools coming together on May 3rd for something much bigger than a competition happening at Eko Hotel and Suites in Lagos. The tournament will bring together over 500 young players from more than 100 schools, you know, competing for 5 million naira in prize money. This isn't just about the pawns and queens, it's about building the minds and the leadership of tomorrow. Before we delve into Real Talk, I think it's important for me to play their profile, and when I return, we will be speaking with them. Stay with me. I'll be right back. All right, let me use this opportunity to usher in my guests. Let me first off start with Mrs. Kalin Shaguri Mudaba. I hope I pronounced your last name properly. Fantastic. It's good to have you and, of course, Mrs. Damilola Okonkwo in our studio today to spend your lunchtime with us. How are you guys doing?
We're good.
We're good. Thanks for having us.
Thank
you. Great. So let's just dive straight to the issue at hand, because I know that we're a little bit behind schedule. So I will first off start from with the opening question to you first, Kathleen, with all that is happening right now with our viewers in terms of the understanding of the reason behind this interview. I've seen quite a few of messages on social saying that, oh, this Oyibo woman playing chess, and they like, our Africans, how we think. So what is Chess Master, and what makes it different from the rest of what we see on socials when it comes to the Africa's largest annual school chess tournament that we see globally?
Well, Chess Masters is going to be one of the biggest, if not the biggest, annual chess tournament. And the reason why we've invested in this, I will let Dami explain the educational system, but also in the way I see it, Oyibo woman if you want, but I grew up here. This is my home. I'm a third generation here, so it's completely my home. And if you want to build your home, you have to invest in the future.
Absolutely.
And this is one way to do it.
Yeah.
All right, fantastic. So with what you have shared now, there are many known sports. In my head, I'm thinking, what led to this? There's basketball, there's football, that have been leading in that change, in our youth development today. Because as far as I'm concerned, I believe that it's part of youth development, and you people are coming through chess. So why do you believe that chess, I believe that is a traditional niche for stuff, when it comes to the global embrace, so to speak. How do you think that Nigeria is going to embrace this tournament that you guys are about to kick off with on the 3rd of May, right? I'm correct? Yes. And of course, with the educational and leadership development that is interwoven with the game at hand. What do you have to say to this, especially to young people who are listening to you right now, who would like to be part of this
Absolutely. So
event?
Chess, it's an exciting time, right? We know there's a lot going on with chess, not just in Nigeria, but globally. So it's one of those games that is finally getting its notoriety. It's finally been put on a pedestal, a platform for others to learn. So for us, it's more than just a game, right? You know that, as you said, many people have been playing chess for many years, but it's almost been seen as almost like an elite sport that people or children who don't necessarily, maybe they come from a certain educational background, they're the ones that play chess, right? But what we've come to realize in chess is that it's more than just a game. Children are learning skills that will set them up for life. And that's where we find interest in this game, because children aren't just learning to play chess. Whilst learning to play chess, they're also developing skills like critical thinking, problem solving, focus, and these are key skills that children need, not just in their daily lives now, but as they grow up when they get older as well.
Fantastic insights right there. So I'm coming back to you because I feel that right now chess makers as a movement, starts with our youngsters, if that's the word to use right now. So many parents, watching their children there, want to know why chess should be a game for their children, because again, we have to tailor it down to our environment and how African parents think, how they perceive issues like this. So some of this issue have surfaced online, and people are wondering, are we supposed to introduce chess with schooling right now? So, but beyond this competition that you people have brought to fall, and beyond the price tag, that quite a number of young stars, so to speak, will be excited about and all of that. How do we bring that change, the movement of change, in terms of hoping to spark some interest with, would I say, chess ministers across Nigeria, across Africa? Maybe I should direct that question to you, Dan, quickly. What's your take on this?
To be honest with you, so I run an education company in Lagos, Nigeria called Key Academy, and part of that education company is a school. And within that school, we have chess as part of our curriculum. As I mentioned to you before, it's not just a game. There's so many skills that children are learning while playing chess, and it also develops other areas. So your math skills as well are developed during playing chess as well. So for us, it's not just this game. There's other skills and there's educational benefits to it. And that's what we're trying to do with Chess Masters. Not just bring an amazing platform for chess in Nigeria, but also explain and showcase the educational benefits of learning chess.
All right. So with all that you've shared thus far, I cannot help but bring this conversation to fore when it comes to partnership, and that comes to you because I know that Eco Hotels and Key Academy, you know, are leading this initiative, so to speak. You know, how important is it for you, you know, Caitlin, Kalin rather, apologize, you know, in terms of the private sector's improvements in driving this sustainability change, in finding solution in education and sports, because now listening to all your insights thus far is as good as education and sports interwoven with, you know, the challenges that we are facing today. So, you know, how do we find that balance? How do we find that development in Nigeria where, you know, you can actually attract investors in terms of partnership?
Oh, good question. Look, when we came up with the idea, literally two moms chatting and saying we could do something here, and then we just saw what we could each bring in.
The value.
Yes. So the strategic Key Academy is strategic and educational and chess, and you need a space for it. And I said I can convince Eco Hotel to get on board with this because, you know, we lead in creating platforms that drive a positive change across Lagos, and chess is as important as any other thing to invest in. It just is. The same way we could invest in theater, and we do, or in art, and we do, or in sports, and we do. Chess is important. And you know, if you look into what our technical partners are doing, Chess in Slums, check their social media, check their website, and see the change chess can do as young as 4 or 5-year-old children.
All right. I hear you, but I must ask you, when you said two moms comes together and just decide to go into this, I must ask you, do you both play chess?
I play, but I'm not that great.
I'm a bit better, but now I need to take classes because my son got really good. So
to be clear, we came together because our children really love chess. They're obsessed with it. They really, really love chess. And we were able to see how they were able to grow and develop through playing chess. And within our school, we were able to also see how children were able to grow and develop through playing chess as well. So for us, it was a no-brainer.
Correct.
It made sense to bring that together. And as Colleen said, I think it's more than just even Eco Hotel providing the venue. This is a partnership that is really aligned. So the vision and the values that we have and what we were trying to do is exactly what Eco Hotel also have as well. So it's a great partnership.
Okay, many thanks for that submission, but I must ask you, because I know that Nigeria is still, I don't know how to construct this word. That Nigeria's education system is still largely about exam focus. Read and pass. That's the truth. I keep reading on this platform. So in my head, how does this chess masters, you know, challenge that traditional narrative? I need you to give me an answer that is relatable to those who are listening to us right now, because none of those children will come there if their parents are not convinced. So I want you to speak to them, you know, in terms of how you can change that narrative about what it means to be an excellent student. What value is it going to bring? What kind of impact is it going to, you know, bring to their own alignment of their vision in raising that child?
I mean, when you think about it, you know, when we think about education, we focus more on core skills. So you're looking at sort of your math skills, your numeracy, literacy skills, and that's our focus, especially as some parents, traditional Nigerian parents, that's all we really care about. But the way in which the world is changing, we need to recognize that children need to be more than just their conventional forms of education. They need to actually be able to learn 21st century skills that better set them up and prepare them for the future in which they're growing up in. Now, for me, it's really important that we look to educate children in a more well-rounded way. Historically, we've been focusing, as you said, predominantly on really academic subjects, cramming, you know, memorizing, passing exams, and then you get into the work world, and I'm sure you've met a number of people who've been, you know, graduated, and you thought, I need more. Like, you know, they may look good on paper, but I'm not really seeing how they're able to translate what they've learned. Exactly. So what we're saying is actually these skills need to be taught in education from a very early age. And chess, although it's a very traditional sport, so parents might think, okay, yeah, I'm okay with chess, but they're also learning all of these 21st century future skills that they need as well.
All right.
Can I add something? Sorry.
Please go ahead.
Because my son loved chess from the get-go. He was 5 or 6 when he was introduced. And then he would not in class want to learn anything unless it had to do with chess. So his teachers decided to teach math using chess. And his math skills were amazing. So parents, chess will help them be good at math.
That's what matters. So
Yeah.
talking about parents, now let's bring it back to the foundation, which is the school. So are you ensuring that chess masters, reach beyond the privileged schools, you know, to include children from lower income backgrounds? Because, you know, quite a number of people that are looking at you right now will say, Kika is going to bring all this so you won't find all of that. So we must tailor it back to the streets, you know, because we want this thing to be open to all. So how do we, you know, kind of break that barrier, or especially considering the work chess in slum Africa, for instance, you know, that are doing a fantastic job. I think the name of this guy, Okonkwo. Have you guys involved him in all of this? So he's going to be there on May 3rd, right?
We hope so. We hope he'll be there. He's really busy at the moment, so he's just completed
won
a
the
second
Guinness
world
World
record. Yep. So we're hoping, he's currently out of town, so we're hoping he'll be there as well on the day.
Okay. All right. So,
but chess in slums will be there.
Yes,
They
exactly.
have a great, phenomenal team. Their kids will be there to participate. They're going to be in the tournament. So,
all right, fantastic. So is it open to all?
Absolutely. So the schools that we have registered at the moment are coming from across Lagos.
Okay.
So schools from all corners of Lagos, private schools, public schools. We have children who are not even in school, because there are, you know, some children coming representing chess in slums as well. So for us, it's really important that, you know, one of the things I love about chess as well is that the entry level is very low, because it's just a simple game that anybody can play. You can have a chessboard, or you can actually just use pieces and create it yourself. So it means anybody from any income background, from any level, can actually play this game. So it's one of those games that is open to everybody, and we've created a tournament that is also open to schools across Lagos. And to be clear, sorry, just to add, we're focusing on Lagos for our first edition. Next year and beyond, we'll be looking to expand beyond Lagos into other cities across Nigeria, and eventually we want to go across Africa with this tournament.
Fantastic. That's a good one. I think that takes me back to the next question, because as mothers, you know, I like the fact that you're saying that maybe by next year, you know, it will be open to other states, but right now you're tailoring it to Lagos alone, right? Correct. So as mothers, both of you have shared your experiences and how chess has improved your child's, you know, mathematics and, you know, critical thinking and the likes and all of that. But how can Nigerian parents who are listening to us right now be encouraged to see, you know, chess, you know, as another cognitive game or games that is essential, you know, or will I say essential part of their children's, you know, development, other than extracurriculum activities? Because however you look at it, I feel that is what Onokoya have done when it comes to changing the narrative of it cannot just be an extracurriculum activity. There are many other things that is attracted to chess. What do you have to say as a mother who wants to convince another parent out there?
how are you convincing them?
So you can go there.
We are convincing them by showing them the benefits of the game, right? And for us, it's important to recognize, as I mentioned to you before, when you think about critical thinking, when you think about problem solving, you need that even in your environment right now.
Absolutely.
Before we started, you're saying, guys, we need to do this, we need to make sure this is in place, and you want a team of people who are able to problem solve and take those skills into any situational environment they find themselves in. So what you're finding with a game like chess is, from a very early age, you're learning how to problem solve. You're learning how to think 3 steps ahead. You're kind of looking at your competitor and thinking, how can I essentially beat them? What moves can I make? How can I think strategically? And those skills that they're learning on the board, they can then translate into their everyday lives. So for us, it's not just a game for now or a game for education. It's a game that's setting you up for life, because those skills that you're playing or skills that you're learning, you're going to need.
Interwoven with everything in your life,
Absolutely.
and it's about finding solutions to whatever challenges you find.
Absolutely.
Right. Fantastic. Let's go on a quick break. When I return, the conversation will continue. Stay with me. I'll be right back. This is Real Talk with Kike. All right, glad to know you're still right there with us. In case you just joined today's show has been, I would like to have been diving deep, into the story behind Chessmaster, the soon-to-be Africa World School, chess tournament launching in Lagos this May 3rd, and of course, my guest, Kalin Shagburi Mudaba, and of course, Mrs. Damilola Okonkwo. I have been sharing a lot regarding, the powerful vision of using the chess to build confidence in terms of leadership, in terms of critical thinking, in terms of finding solutions wherever the children find themselves. And I think that, our children sometimes, or actually necessarily always need, a fast-changing, solution in the world that we live in today. So from transforming how we view education to reshaping the youth empowerment across the continent, this real talk this afternoon is not just an ordinary talk. It's about much more than a game, and I want to say many thanks again to Mrs. Kalin for all that you've shared thus far, and of course to Mrs. Damilola as well for throwing light on the issue at hand. But quickly, let me use this opportunity to open the phone lines for those who would like to be part of this conversation. Remember that you can call the studio number 070-6865-3440. It's showing on your screen right now. Of course, we're streaming live on Facebook, both on Silverbird platform and Real Talk. Yes, Real Talk with Cricket platform is back now. No, the second page. I know that we lost our first page on Facebook, but I want to say many thanks to all our viewers who have been sharing their own concerns and all of that. But we're back now, so we're streaming live. So again, I say thank you guys for all that you've been doing, in changing the lives of many homes out there. But Kali, let me come to you because a lot have been shared right now. I need you to share a bit of more strategies. What strategy steps are you taking to move chess masters, from Lagos to a truly Pan-African stage? And the reason why I'm bringing this conversation to fall again is because I understand from your previous conversation saying that you're, limiting it to Lagos at the moment. But what challenges do you foresee, will I say, in scaling through the continent? Because with all that you've been saying thus far, there must be a reason why you have been able to tailor it down to Lagos first. There must have been one or two challenges that you have seen or you have come across that have made you just say, let's focus on these states right now. What's your take on this?
Honestly, for me, it's really simple. We have to do it right.
Okay.
So you want to do it right, you start small and you build up. You do not start big and then most likely crash and burn, honestly. And it's from experience as well, from doing a lot of things here. You start small, you do it right, you build it right, it will grow. It's that simple. It just will.
I agree with you. Knowing that you're one of the directors of Eko Hotel. Eko Hotel used to be a small, if I'm allowed to say that, they're part of my sponsor. It used to be a small hospitality organization, but today is one of the top, am I allowed to say that, guys? It's one of the top, the first top 3 hotels in hospitality in Nigeria today, and I want to say many thanks to you guys, for making that come to life with a lot of your teams behind you. So, Damilola, with all that you've shared us far, again, you've gathered support. That's it. Because if a brand like a hotel should come behind you, my dear, you can go to bed with your 2 eyes closed. I must say that. So what I'm about to ask you is, would you send this to other corporate organizations about investing in strategic thinking and collaboration, especially when it comes to development of these children in chess making?
Yeah, definitely.
Or being chess masters.
Absolutely. And I think it's not even just investing in that, it's actually investing in the young people of Nigeria.
Okay.
I think that's one area that we haven't invested enough.
So when you say young people, are you tailoring the age to a certain group?
To be honest with you, when I say young, I say any age 18 and below. That's how I see it.
Okay.
Yeah, really investing in our young people. And I think whether we do that from a public sector perspective or private sector perspective, we need to spend more time investing in our children. So a platform like Chess Masters offers that. Through the work that we're doing, we're reaching schools and children across Nigeria, or across Lagos, but eventually, as we mentioned, we want to go across Nigeria and outside of Nigeria at some point as well. Bringing everything always back to Eko Hotel to do our final sort of tournaments, but really reach schools across the country. And for us, it's really, really important because, as you quite rightly said, we do need to support our young people. We do. It's part of who we are. And I think even when I think about the work that both myself and Colleen are doing, it's a fundamental part of how do we raise young people in Nigeria? How can we do better by them? And for me, I think education is key. Education is key to any form of nation building. So if we're able to get the education system right and work on that, and including platforms like Chess Masters as well, we're able to really move mountains within the education space. I think it's really important.
Fantastic insights right there.
Also, I agree. And you want to invest in the children, but you also want to give them a Lagos and Nigeria they don't have to run away from. So we have to keep building things here.
Yeah.
So when you talk about that, I think that takes me back to the Japa system. I feel that the population in Nigeria today, I try to keep it real as much as possible. Sometimes we'll talk about the Japa syndrome, brain drain, so to speak, and all of that. But the population in Nigeria, I think that if we lose 1 or 2 million people. It's still okay. Am I allowed to say that?
Of course
too?
you're
It's
allowed.
very okay.
But for the ones who are staying.
But for the ones who are staying, and you're investing in them and you're imbibing so many values for them to actually retain here. Hence the reason why people like us are still here, even though we don't look like Nigerians. All right, let's keep it real. So with all that both of you have shared thus far, Colin, let me come to you, because if we sat down here again on this platform in the next 5 years from now, what successes would you like to see, or would you think that chess masters would have achieved? And the reason why I'm asking this is like anybody, any parents who wants to, go into any projects, people are thinking, or you want to go into marriage, what's your next 5 years vision and all of that. So for both Nigerian children and the African continent at large, where I believe that you will be, spreading your wings in the next year or two, what success do you see this project bringing to forward?
Well, I would, other than spreading our wings, I would also like it to be that people from abroad, now you want to participate in a chess tournament, an important chess tournament, you travel out of the continent. You have to go to the US, you have to go to Europe. Fine. We want all of you to want to come here to play with our kids. We don't, not always that direction as well. So as we grow, it would be nice to also have these conversation and partnerships and
all right, fantastic. Yes, as we grow, it's right for us to have that partnership and, of course, try to, ground people down. And this takes me to me sharing my own experience, because I was former program director for MTN Football Scholar for almost 6-7 years, where I impacted. I have over 20 boys in America today who are doing wonderfully well, but they started from me scouting for these boys who are skillful on field and academically sound. So I feel that it's a little bit, not a little bit, it's tilted towards the same impact, great minds, success men today who I believe that, and that was the reason why I asked you the question I asked you, because I understand that the impact of these youngsters, at this moment, needs to be brought to life. You sharing whatever you think that, will happen to them in the next 5 years if they're able to do this and that. Hence the reason I'm asking you this question. And those are the things that I believe that, apart from the prize money that they will be getting, many youngsters today are actually into that, quick money. How else do we change that mindset, that narrative? So when these children look back 10, 15 years after from now, what kind of legacy do you have for Chess Master that you will think that, thus far you have impacted life, you have changed lives? Dami, what do you have to say to this?
I would say it's creating opportunities right here in Lagos.
Absolutely.
You mentioned your experience when you were with MTN's.
I was MTN football director.
Exactly. Yeah. And you were able to take children to, schools and to teams across the world, right? For us, I think it's really important, because that's only still a small percentage of the population that can actually do that, that will get those opportunities. So what we're trying to do is create those opportunities here. How do we create those opportunities, not just now, but if, for example, if you find a great grandmaster through Chess Masters and this child becomes amazing, those opportunities and that child can continue to develop right here in Nigeria. That's what we're trying to do. And the reason why is because that's the only way we can have impact. We can only have impact if we fix things here, if we create opportunities here, and not just for now, but going forward as well. And that's where, when we think about what we're doing at Chess Masters, it's a long-term view. It's something that we want to do, and we want to outlive us, continue for decades to come, and children to continue to have these opportunities to play, to succeed, develop these skills, and these skills that we're talking about are so important. So by the time they go into the working world or they're in their own businesses, they've been nurturing and developing these skills all of their lives, and I think they'll become much better citizens at the end of it, and also we'll have a much better nation at the end of it as well.
Fantastic, Sobi. And I love the fact that you're not pointing fingers at government, because in the world that we live in today, no matter how any SME founders or any project director wants to come, they still fall back to the government. I like the fact that you're taking ownership to say that, what, it starts with us, and I feel that's where the foundational correction comes from. And this might be my last question to you, Colleen. With all that both of you have shared thus far, what's one unexpected challenge? I asked you something similar right now. I want you to share your personal experience when it comes to growing a co-hotel, and let it be interwoven with this issue at hand. And reason being that there are surprising moments that will come that you've not encountered, or that you might have encountered during this planning of this Chess Masters. And how did that shape your approach, to this project? And the reason why I'm asking you this question, Khalid, is because people like you, people like, I know quite a number of, would I say, team members of Eko Hotel. Eko Hotel have become family to me, talking about Yadoni, talking about Danny, talking about so many other people who have contributed to the success of Eko Hotel today.
Absolutely.
There must be something that you have to be able to share, because part of your experiences that you're going to share is what will shape the children that you're going to see tomorrow. Are you ready to share the vulnerability of where you started from, how Eko Hotel started, what are the challenges that you have encountered or you will encounter during this journey that will prepare these children for the next events in May 3rd?
For me, what I see constantly, and I believe the Danis and Yadunis would agree with me, is to get people to trust that we're trying to do it well, that we're trying to do it fairly, that it's for the greater good. It's not just a money-hungry blah, blah, blah that people are interested in. We're really trying to change things and to provide the real platforms and create change, but real change, as Dami mentioned. So for me, to convince people that this is really what we're trying to do is a challenge. I think people are a bit, what's the word, jaded a little bit. So it's to get them to dream a little bit.
All right, fantastic. Again, I want to say many thanks to both of you, for projecting or birthing something that will bring an everlasting change and solution to the growth of the children of today, especially tailoring down to Nigeria. Many thanks for not waiting on the government alone. But before I let you go, there's a last segment of this show that I call Trending Stories. I think that both of you will be able to contribute to the topic at hand. And the first trending story that caught my attention, and this is where I have an opinion as a host. I've been asking you guys questions. I have to exercise my opinion as a host. And the first trending story that caught my attention is that of the late singer Osinachi that gets justice, that the husband has been executed now, for death penalty. And I think before I come to both of you, let me give my own submission on this, because, Osinachi's story is a big lesson for women, men as well, families at large. Many cause women pain, or would I say men, let me be real now, men they cause women pain. The same men will judge the same women that stepped out of marriage. The same men, if their mothers, their sisters are going through the same circumstances, they want to protect their own, but they maltreat other people's children. And I don't know how to say this. Now, when it comes to stories like this, I'm a little bit, emotional. You see them running commentary in my ears, madam, calm down. But this is a stark hypocrisy. We protect ours at our own, will I say, judgment, and cast the stone at others. African mindset is killing us, and that is the reason why I feel that, there's a way married today in Africa, the mothers have been brainwashed to a way that they want to romance suffering as if it is a norm in marriages, and I feel that is where the change have to come from. Doctrines in churches, in mosques today, must also reflect the truths and the reality of our world. We will see, greater shift in the mindset of the world if all this religious organization or institution start bringing that change. So when the story broke of Osinachi went viral about our passing, I know that our mother told our own story, saying that when the pastors and the husband came back to apologize, to plead for her to return to the husband's house, she pleaded with her child not to return, to say that this has become a culture. I do not think that you should go back. But I feel that now she's dead and she's under 6 feet in her grave. So I feel that there are so many other women as well who have also this has happened to. So the result of this domestic violence and marital abuse is something that I feel that I need to address quickly. A story that broke also on internet, I think a few days ago on Sisi Yemi, one of my friend in Igbinedion at the time, I said that her house help, whose husband reached out to her to say that, oh, you must fire my wife because my wife seems to be making it, she's the breadwinner, so to speak, and the husband is saying, no, fire her so that she can come and sit at home. And I had to give my own, my own submission on Linda Ikeji's page. I know quite a number of people came across the comments and they've been tagging me and the likes and all. I just feel that, some of these challenges that we are facing today, and the so-called man is not legally binded to this woman. and this woman has 4 children for this man, yet he doesn't have a job. She's the so-called partner has a job, and yet you're saying she must be fired. So I'm asking the women, ourselves, the question is, I don't know how to put it, but I just feel that men of today are ingrates, if I'm allowed to say that. And can we imagine that this unreasonable, despicable practice, have become a culture in our practice, and the treatment of these men puts women through so much, and this practice has shrunk down in our system. We have indulged the men too much. Now, Osinachi's husband now being sentenced to death is like a divided opinion on social media. You see quite a number of people who saying that he should be sentenced to death because of the children, for who will care for them, who will bring them up. I ask him, Pin, did the man realize all of these consequences before he continued to maltreat the woman? The sentiment is what is killing us in this part of our world. Of what use is the man even alive? Yes, I'm saying that. He has sent the mother to the grave. Now, having him alive or in jail, serving life imprisonment is a reminder of the children's pain, however we look at it. So both parents have chosen their path, and they have to live with the consequences that comes with this. The lie, and I think that the lies that all these men bring to fall in terms of even when it comes to divorce and all of that, I think just takes it back to power of character. And this is the power of character that I feel that late Dr. Miles Moron have emphasized on. Many divorces today, we see quite a number of people being judged because they are being divorced. How do we start changing the narrative? How do we understand that we need to start putting ourselves first? The women just need to understand that when you empower yourself, there's so many things you can achieve without even the validation of these men. God, we give birth to this men for goodness sake. We women give birth to this men until we understand that there's so much power that lies in our hands. There's so many things that we'll just put an end to. Hence the reason why I feel that, the man must just go through the execution and not about, appealing for what they call it again, being like life sentence or whatever. Please, may the gentle soul of the woman rest in perfect peace. I don't know if you have a take on this quickly.
I think for me, for sure, we should be protecting the vulnerable, protecting people who need that support as a country, as a nation. But I do think a lot of this starts with education. And you're talking about empowerment and people feeling empowered, knowing their worth, understanding their identity. That starts with education. It's not something we learn when we're adults. It's something that we should be learning and exploring from a very young age. So when you get to that point where you're an adult and you make certain decisions, you are empowered to make those decisions. You have the knowledge, the understanding, the know-how, the experience, and the support to make those decisions.
Fantastic. So let me take my second trending story. So I allow Kali to make her own contribution to this. So my second trending story is about, the Nigerian man that loses wife during surgery, because of power outrage or outage, and when I saw this, and I was like, hey, this is another soul gone due to the carelessness, the greed, the unaccountability in our system. I saw many comments as well, saying, oh, may Nigeria never happen to you. I feel sad for the story at hand, first off, and I felt more sad when that comment, knowing where it's coming from, the countless number of people, that says that Nigeria had happened to them. However, it's not about Nigeria happening to us. It's about Nigerians, or would I say, Nigerians happening to Nigerians. Nigeria is what Nigeria makes out of it. Nigerians in this context is made up of both the leaders and the followers, name it. So you are only an example from the blame if you as an individual are not being righteous, are not patriotic or patriotic citizen in every sense of it. So at every office you have held, every position, you have had the opportunity to rule over other people. I'm not overclaiming, or will I say disclaiming rather, that the leaders don't have a large share of the blame. But in this instance, if further investigation was carried out, it could have been that the hospital had budget for secondary source of power, like generator, and someone failed at it, or I don't know how to go about my thoughts right now, but I just feel that it's high time for us to start understanding that people make certain alternative sources of power available at the crucial time when needed. Now, when we think about it further, there are many road accidents that have been caused by these leaders who fail to build good roads, infrastructure, and also the citizens who might add the contract to build but embezzle the money and sometimes use substandard building materials, or the careless drunkard that drives who are taking lives of innocent people. So the list goes on in my head, and the fact that collapsing building as well does take place, and I'm asking, Nigerians are the killers of Nigerians. That's the reason why what I said earlier, not Nigeria happening to us. In recent times, our leaders failing us. National Hospital Abuja, we've seen a lot of feedbacks regarding that. We've seen all the solar panel, the loot Lagos Hospital as well. Name it. Sometimes you come around, you see Aso Rock, they're paying 10 billion naira for solar panel. Truly, the government has failed us in this regard. This is a message to them that they need to prioritize the lives of the people above the comfort and their own pocket or their own personal interests, and things can continue. Things can continue this way. So when that change comes, I think that is when we realize that all of these infrastructure issues or challenges that we face, will not come to fall again. We go to a cool hotel, for instance, and we feel that 5-star ambience, the aesthetics and the likes and all of that. Why is that? It's because there's structure. It's because there's infrastructure. It's because there's accountability. It is because the fact that there's a team chain that understand that there must go. It must be beyond power of one. Everybody comes together to understand the vision and the goal. I feel that when our government start learning from organizations like yours and many other organizations who understand all of these challenges and have been able to find solutions to it, that is when we'll find a better Nigeria, and all sectors across states, whether hospitals, whether education, name it, will be a better place where people will not japa anymore. Quickly, what's your take on this, Kali?
Quickly, a take on something this big.
Yes.
Complicated. Yeah, maybe also when we're stuck in a system that has been this way for a long time, it's hard to step out of it, and it's a mentality and a lot of things that need to change, where again education comes in, where when you do something good, domino effect. When Otunde Onakoya does what he does, domino effect. The next generation will do something good as well. It's too big of a conversation, but
no, you're right. You're right. In terms of the change that we're expecting, that starts from individuals.
Of course, Michael Jackson
when...
said so. I'm starting with the man in the mirror.
all right. Many thanks again to my wonderful, phenomenal women who are making that extraordinary change that we are seeing today. I think that both of you should be, what's the word now? They should be on the next cover of this, the top 100 women who are making impact in Nigeria, in Africa at large. Again, I want to say thank you so much for creating time to lend your voice on issues that will bring a lot of impact to the lives of the young stars today. And of course, I want to say many thanks to you too for creating time to spend your lunchtime with us, and also I wish both of you the very best, as you continue to navigate the waters, because there's no use of doing business in this country, regardless of the powerhouse that you have behind, the key academic project. Again, I wish both of you the best. Of course, we've had a wonderful session today. Many thanks to my resourceful guest, Mrs. Kalin Shaguri Mudaba, Director of Ekota Limited, and of course I have Mrs. Damilola Okonkwo, the visionary behind the Key Academic. Many thanks to both of you. I wish you the very best.
Thank you so much.
Remember to catch me tomorrow on Inspiration FM 92.3 FM, your drive time talk show, and of course, be kind to one another, and bye now.